Discover the hidden fortune behind rare quarter-dollar coins from the United States of America. Explore the most valuable Washington quarters, silver quarters, mint-era coins, and rare collectible quarter dollars that could be worth thousands or even millions in today's coin market. Learn about historic quarter coins from different years, rare minting mistakes, high-grade conditions, double die errors, off-center strikes, and legendary discoveries that continue to shock collectors worldwide. Whether you are a beginner coin hunter or a serious numismatic collector, this complete guide reveals the history, rarity, and unbelievable value of America's most wanted quarter-dollar coins hiding in everyday pocket change. The legendary 1965 Washington quarter is one of the most talked-about coins in American coin history because it marked the dramatic moment when the United States stopped making regular quarters from 90% silver and switched to copper-nickel-clad metal. That single change transformed the coin world forever. Millions of Americans at the time feared silver coins would disappear from circulation, and many people began hoarding older quarters, dimes, and half dollars. Because of this historic transition, the 1965 quarter became surrounded by mystery, rumors, and stories of hidden treasure. Most ordinary examples are only worth face value today, but a tiny number of rare era coins from that year have become incredibly valuable collectibles worth thousands, and in some cases collectors believe undiscovered examples could someday sell for astonishing prices. Oldcoinonline.com+1. What makes the 1965 quarter so exciting is the possibility of finding a transitional era coin. During the change from silver planchets to clad planchets, a few leftover silver blanks from 1964 accidentally remained inside mint machinery. Some 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on those silver blanks, creating one of the rarest modern American era coins ever produced. These rare silver transition quarters are not fantasy stories. Verified examples have sold at major auctions for thousands of dollars, and collectors still search bankrolls hoping another hidden example will appear. A genuine silver 1965 quarter can instantly turn an ordinary 25-cent coin into a treasure worth enough to change someone's financial future overnight. U.S. coins value +2. The first thing serious collectors check is the coin's weight. A normal 1965 clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while the rare silver transitional era weighs about 6.25 grams because it contains 90% silver. That tiny difference is extremely important. Many people overlook old quarters every day without realizing that a simple digital scale could reveal a hidden fortune sitting in a drawer or piggy bank. Collectors also examine the edge of the coin carefully. Ordinary clad quarters show a copper-colored stripe along the edge, while silver transition examples appear completely silver without the copper line. This simple visual clue has caused thousands of treasure hunters to inspect every 1965 quarter they encounter. Oldcoinonline.com+2. Another reason this coin attracts enormous attention is because mint marks disappeared from American circulating coins between 1965 and 1967. The U.S. Mint removed mint marks to discourage collectors from hoarding coins during the silver shortage crisis. Because of that decision, all regular 1965 quarters appear without mint marks regardless of where they were produced. Many beginners mistakenly believe no mint mark automatically means rare or valuable, but the true value depends on condition, metal composition, and mint errors. A normal circulated 1965 quarter with heavy wear may still only be worth face value, while a flawless uncirculated specimen can sell for far more because collectors compete aggressively for high-grade examples. U.S. Coins Guide +2. Condition plays a massive role in determining value. Most 1,965 quarters spent decades passing through cash registers, vending machines, and pockets, leaving scratches and worn surfaces. But a perfectly preserved coin with brilliant luster and sharp details becomes far rarer than people realize. High-grade mint-state examples certified by professional grading companies have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars because so few survived in pristine condition. Collectors examine tiny details like Washington's hair, cheek lines, and eagle feathers under magnification to determine whether a coin deserves a premium grade. Even the smallest scratch can dramatically reduce value in the competitive world of numismatics. Oldcoinonline.com+1. The most thrilling part of the 1965 quarter story involves mint errors. Some coins were struck off-center, creating dramatic designs where parts of the image appear shifted or missing. Others display doubled letters and numbers caused by die misalignment during production. Certain rare examples were even struck on the wrong type of metal blank entirely. These unusual mistakes fascinate collectors because they were never intended to exist. Instead of being destroyed at the mint, a few escaped into circulation and became accidental treasures. Today, error collectors pay enormous premiums for spectacular examples because each coin represents a unique moment of chaos inside the minting process. Oldcoinonline.com+2. One of the most famous varieties is the double die error, where lettering such as Liberty or In God We Trust appears slightly doubled under magnification. This effect was created when the die used to strike the coin received multiple impressions at slightly different angles. Strong double die examples can command impressive prices because collectors love dramatic visual errors. Even subtle doubling can excite specialists who spend years hunting rare varieties. Finding one in circulation is extremely difficult, but stories of lucky discoveries continue fueling the dream that hidden rarities still exist in everyday pocket change. Oldcoinonline.com+1. The 1965 quarter also represents an emotional turning point in American history. Older generations remembered the beautiful sound of silver coins clinking together, and many people disliked the new clad coins immediately. The government introduced clad coinage because silver prices had risen too high, making older coins more valuable as metal than currency. That decision permanently changed American pocket change. Because the 1965 quarter marked the beginning of this new era, collectors view it as a symbolic piece of economic history rather than just another coin. Its story reflects fear, transition, hoarding, and the end of circulating silver money in the United States. Oldcoinonline.com+1. The 1972 Washington quarter is one of those American coins that looks ordinary at first glance, but secretly carries the kind of mystery that keeps treasure hunters awake at night. Millions of these quarter dollars pass through pockets, vending machines, and cash registers across the United States, yet collectors still search for rare examples because a few extraordinary pieces have exploded in value over the years. Most people spend them without a second thought, but hidden among normal coins are rare mint state survivors and dramatic mint errors that can transform a simple 25-cent coin into a collector's dream worth thousands of dollars. The thrill surrounding this coin comes from the belief that one forgotten quarter could completely change someone's fortune overnight. CoinValueChecker.com+1. The 1972 quarter belongs to the famous George Washington quarter series that began in 1932. By 1972, America was already deep into the clad coin era, meaning these quarters were no longer made from silver like the older pre-1965 coins. Instead, they were struck using copper and nickel layers. Even though they lacked silver content, the 1972 quarters became historically important because the United States Mint was still adjusting to modern mass production methods after the Great Silver Transition of the 1960s. During this period, minting mistakes became more noticeable, and those accidental errors are exactly what collectors chase today. CoinValueChecker.com+1. One reason the 1972 quarter became legendary is because of high-grade mint state examples. While millions were produced, very few survived in flawless condition. Most coins entered circulation immediately and became scratched, worn, or damaged over decades of use. A perfectly preserved 1972 quarter with brilliant luster and razor-sharp details is far rarer than most people imagine. Some certified examples graded at the highest levels by professional grading companies have sold for thousands of dollars at auction because elite collectors compete fiercely for top population coins. The difference between an ordinary quarter and a premium uncirculated specimen can literally mean the difference between 25 cents and thousands of dollars. CoinValueChecker.com+2. The real excitement begins with mint errors. Certain 1972 quarters were accidentally struck with double designs, off-center images, or unusual die mistakes that created bizarre appearances. Collectors become obsessed with these coins because every error tells the story of a split-second mistake inside the minting process. One of the most famous varieties is the double die error, where words such as liberty or in God we trust appear doubled under magnification. These rare varieties are highly sought after because they were never supposed to exist. Finding one in pocket change feels like uncovering hidden treasure that escaped the mint decades ago. CoinValueChecker.com+1. Another reason collectors hunt 1972 quarters is the possibility of wrong planchet errors. In extremely rare cases, coins were struck on the wrong metal blanks entirely. Some specialists have discussed quarters struck on leftover foreign or smaller denomination planchets, creating coins with unusual weight, color, or size. These rare mint mistakes can command incredible prices because they combine rarity with dramatic visual differences. Stories of such discoveries spread quickly through coin communities, inspiring thousands of people to inspect every quarter they receive in change. CoinValueChecker.com+1. The Denver Mint also produced special varieties during this period that advanced collectors study obsessively. Some rare 1972 D quarters reportedly used proof-style reverse dies by mistake, creating subtle but valuable design differences visible in the lettering and leaf details near the eagle. These varieties are so rare that many casual collectors never even hear about them. Yet experienced numismatists spend years searching for authentic examples because they represent hidden chapters of minting history. A tiny design difference almost invisible to ordinary people can make an enormous difference in value. Reddit. Many online stories exaggerate coin values into unbelievable millions, but there is still truth behind the excitement. While most 1972 quarters are only worth face value, rare error coins and elite condition specimens have sold for thousands of dollars. The dream of discovering an unknown masterpiece keeps the legend alive. Every collector hopes to stumble upon a hidden rarity in an old coin jar, inherited collection, or forgotten drawer. That emotional possibility is what gives the 1972 quarter such powerful attraction in the world of rare coins. U.S. Coins Guide +1. Collectors on Reddit and online coin forums constantly debate mysterious 1972 quarters because many people believe they have discovered rare mint errors. Sometimes those coins turn out to be ordinary damage from circulation, but genuine errors absolutely do exist. Discussions about overstrikes, broad strikes, and double dies continue fueling excitement across the collecting community. Some hobbyists even share stories of unusual 1972 quarters struck over older coins, creating pieces that look almost unreal. Whether rare or common, these discoveries keep interest in the coin alive decade after decade. Reddit +2. The lasting power of the 1972 Washington quarter comes from mystery, history, and the dream of hidden fortune. It reminds collectors that valuable treasures do not always come wrapped in gold or silver. Sometimes they hide in everyday pocket change, waiting for the right person to notice a tiny detail others ignored. A simple quarter from 1972 could be ordinary, or it could be one of the rare errors that collectors desperately search for across America. That possibility is what makes this coin unforgettable, turning a small piece of metal into a symbol of luck, history, and the thrilling hope of overnight fortune. The 1981 Washington quarter may look like an ordinary coin resting quietly in old drawers, dusty piggy banks, or forgotten collections, but among serious collectors it carries an incredible reputation. This coin was created during a difficult economic period in the United States when inflation was rising and many Americans were saving coins rather than spending them. Because of that era, some 1981 quarters survived in extraordinary condition, and a few rare examples have become highly valuable treasures in today's coin market. Many people still do not realize that a single quarter from 1981 could secretly hold a value far beyond its tiny face amount, especially if it contains rare mint errors or nearly flawless surfaces untouched by circulation for decades. The history of the 1981 quarter is deeply connected to the famous Washington Quarter series that began in 1932 to honor America's first president, George Washington. By 1980, when the coins were no longer made from silver because the United States Mint had switched to copper-nickel-clad composition years earlier. Even without silver, collectors became fascinated by the 1981 quarter because of its surprisingly low number of well-preserved examples. Unlike earlier decades when people stored rolls of fresh coins, fewer collectors saved 1981 quarters directly from banks. That mistake created an unexpected rarity years later because finding one with blazing mint luster and no wear became extremely difficult. What truly transformed the 1981 quarter into a collector's dream was condition rarity. Millions of quarters were produced, but most entered circulation immediately and became damaged through everyday use. Coins rubbed against other metal, scratched inside pockets, and lost their sharp details after years of spending. Today, collectors compete fiercely for examples graded in elite mint state condition because only a tiny number survived with original brilliance and sharp strike quality. Some professionally graded examples have reached astonishing prices at auction simply because they are among the finest known survivors from that year. The difference between a worn quarter and a flawless one can mean the difference between pocket change and life-changing money. The Philadelphia Mint and Denver Mint both produced 1981 quarters, but the 1981 issue gained special attention among advanced collectors because high-grade examples proved exceptionally difficult to locate. Many coins from Philadelphia during this period were weakly struck, meaning details such as hairlines and eagle feathers lacked sharpness. Because of that, fully detailed coins became rare prizes in the numismatic world. Collectors carefully examine the smallest details under magnification, searching for clean surfaces, strong luster, and perfect design features. A quarter that appears ordinary to most people can become an elite collector coin once certified at the highest grade levels. Another reason the 1981 quarter became famous is because of dramatic mint errors discovered over the years. Some examples were struck off-center, causing parts of the design to disappear while blank metal areas remained visible. Others displayed die cracks, doubled lettering, or unusual strike patterns created by mistakes inside mint machinery. These accidental creations fascinate collectors because every error tells the story of a mechanical failure that escaped quality control. Instead of being destroyed, a few rare pieces entered circulation where they remained hidden for decades before being discovered by lucky collectors searching through rolls of coins. Among the most exciting discoveries are double die varieties, where inscriptions such as Liberty or the date appear slightly doubled because of errors during die creation. Strong double designs can command huge premiums because they are both visually dramatic and extremely scarce. Error collectors spend years hunting these coins because every genuine example feels like uncovering buried treasure. Some enthusiasts examine thousands of quarters hoping to spot tiny details missed by others. The possibility that a valuable double die could still exist in circulation keeps the excitement surrounding the 1981 quarter alive even today. Another fascinating chapter in the history of the 1981 quarter involves proof coins produced for collectors. Proof quarters were specially struck using polished dies and carefully prepared planchets to create mirror-like surfaces and razor-sharp details. Occasionally, proof coins escaped into circulation or developed unusual minting errors of their own. Rare proof-error combinations are especially valuable because they combine two forms of rarity in one coin. Collectors view these pieces almost like accidental works of art created inside the mint during production. When one appears at auction, bidding wars can erupt between specialists desperate to own such an unusual piece of American coin history. Stories surrounding the 1981 quarter continue spreading across collector communities because people dream of finding one worth a fortune in old jars or inherited collections. Some exaggerated rumors claim certain quarters are worth millions overnight, and while most examples are still common, the rarest certified errors and highest-grade survivors genuinely can bring astonishing prices. That possibility fuels the imagination of treasure hunters everywhere. Every time someone checks spare change, there remains a small chance of discovering a coin overlooked for decades by everyone else. That dream of sudden discovery is one of the strongest reasons coin collecting remains so exciting around the world. The lasting legend of the 1981 Washington quarter comes from the powerful idea that extraordinary value can hide inside something ordinary. A small 25-cent coin created more than 40 years ago now represents history, rarity, mystery, and the thrilling hope of unexpected fortune. Whether it is a flawless mint state survivor, a dramatic off-center strike, or a rare double die error, the 1981 quarter proves that even modern coins can become legendary treasures. For collectors, every old quarter carries a story waiting to be uncovered, and somewhere out there another hidden 1981 rarity may still be waiting quietly to change someone's future forever. The 1984 Washington quarter is one of those hidden American coins that many people ignore every single day without realizing it could carry surprising value. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary quarter used for vending machines, parking meters, or loose pocket change. But among collectors, certain 1984 quarters have become legendary because of their rare condition, minting mistakes, and mysterious survival stories. Millions were produced during the 1980s, yet only a tiny number escape circulation in nearly perfect condition. That is exactly why collectors continue searching through old jars and coin rolls hoping to discover a forgotten 1984 quarter capable of turning a simple coin into a valuable collector treasure. The history of the 1984 quarter belongs to the famous Washington quarter series honoring George Washington, whose image had already appeared on American quarters for decades. By the 1980s, the United States Mint was producing enormous numbers of clad coins made from copper and nickel instead of silver. Because these quarters contained no precious metal, most Americans treated them as ordinary money and spent them quickly. Very few people thought about preserving them carefully. That decision created an unexpected rarity decades later because flawless 1984 quarters became much harder to find than many collectors originally expected. One of the biggest reasons the 1984 quarter gained attention in the numismatic world is condition rarity. Coins from this era often suffered weak strikes, bag marks, scratches, and dull surfaces because of heavy production and rough handling at the mint. Finding a sharply detailed quarter with glowing original luster is extremely difficult today. Some professionally graded examples certified in elite mint state condition have sold for astonishing prices at auction because they rank among the finest known survivors. To an ordinary person, the coin may look normal, but advanced collectors can immediately recognize details that separate a common quarter from a high-value rarity. The Philadelphia Mint produced a large number of 1,984 quarters, but collectors noticed that many lacked strong design detail, especially around Washington's hair and the eagle feathers on the reverse side. Because of this, coins with exceptional strike quality became especially desirable. Professional grading companies carefully examine every tiny detail under magnification before assigning grades. A single point difference in grade can increase value dramatically. Some top-condition examples have reached prices that shock people who never imagined a modern quarter could become such a prized collector item. Mint errors also transformed the 1984 quarter into a coin filled with mystery and excitement. During production, machines occasionally malfunctioned and created unusual pieces that escaped the mint unnoticed. Some coins were struck off-center, causing parts of the design to vanish, while blank metal appeared along the edges. Others developed die cracks, clipped planchets, or doubled letters that gave the coin a strange appearance. These mistakes are incredibly important to collectors because every error represents a unique accident frozen forever in metal. Instead of being destroyed, a few survived and became rare treasures hunted by enthusiasts across the world. Among the most exciting discoveries are double die varieties, where parts of the date or lettering appear doubled because of errors during die preparation. Strong doubling can make a coin dramatically more valuable because collectors love visually striking varieties that are easy to recognize. Some hobbyists spend years examining rolls of quarters hoping to find one overlooked by others. The dream of discovering a rare double die in everyday change continues fueling fascination with the 1984 quarter. Even today, collectors believe undiscovered examples may still exist hidden inside old collections or forgotten coin jars. Another reason the 1984 quarter holds collector interest is the existence of proof versions specially struck for collectors. Proof quarters feature mirror-like backgrounds and sharp frosted details that create a beautiful appearance, unlike ordinary circulation coins. Occasionally, proof coins develop errors or accidentally enter circulation, creating extremely unusual collector pieces. A proof error coin from 1984 can become highly desirable because it combines rarity, beauty, and minting history in one small piece of metal. These special coins remind collectors that even modern American quarters can carry incredible stories behind their creation. The 1991 Washington quarter is one of those modern American coins that many people overlook without realizing it could hide surprising value and collector demand. At first glance, it appears to be just another ordinary quarter used for everyday purchases. But deep inside the world of rare coin collecting, certain 1991 quarters have become highly desirable because of their condition, minting mistakes, and unusual scarcity in top grades. Millions were produced and released into circulation, yet very few survived with flawless surfaces and sharp details. That reality transformed some examples from common pocket change into collectible treasures capable of attracting serious money from passionate numismatists. The history of the 1991 quarter belongs to the long-running Washington Quarter series featuring George Washington on the front of the coin. By the early 1990s, the United States Mint was striking quarters in massive quantities, using copper-nickel-clad metal rather than silver. Because these coins carried no precious metal value, most people spent them carelessly without thinking about preservation. Bags filled with fresh quarters were transported roughly, causing scratches and marks before many coins even entered circulation. As years passed, collectors realized that finding a truly pristine 1991 quarter was far more difficult than expected, especially examples with strong luster and exceptional strike quality. Condition became one of the biggest reasons certain 1991 quarters exploded in value. Most surviving coins show heavy wear from decades of circulation, with faded surfaces and softened details. But a small number escaped damage and remained in nearly perfect mint state condition. These elite examples are incredibly rare because modern coins often suffer contact marks during production and shipping. Professional grading companies examine every tiny detail under powerful magnification, searching for clean surfaces, original brilliance, and sharp design features. A quarter that appears ordinary to most people can suddenly become a major rarity once certified at an exceptionally high grade. The Philadelphia Mint produced huge numbers of 1,991 quarters, but collectors noticed that many examples displayed weak strikes or poor overall quality. Because of this, fully detailed specimens with crisp hairlines on Washington and strong eagle feathers on the reverse side became especially desirable. Advanced collectors compete aggressively for the finest known examples because population numbers at the highest grades remain surprisingly low. Some top-condition quarters from this year have reached astonishing auction prices, proving that even modern clad coins can become important collector pieces under the right circumstances. Mint errors also play a major role in the legends surrounding the 1991 quarter. During production, machines occasionally malfunctioned and created strange accidental varieties that escaped the mint unnoticed. Some coins were struck off-center, leaving part of the design missing while blank metal areas remained visible. Others developed dramatic die cracks, clipped planchets, or doubling effects that changed the appearance of the lettering and date. These errors fascinate collectors because each one represents a unique moment of mechanical failure frozen permanently into the coin. A rare mint mistake can transform an ordinary quarter into a highly valuable collector's item almost instantly. Among the most exciting varieties are double die quarters where inscriptions such as Liberty or In God We Trust appear doubled because of errors during die creation. Strong doubling catches the attention of collectors immediately because it creates a visually dramatic effect. Specialists spend years searching coin rolls and old collections hoping to uncover overlooked double die examples. The possibility that a rare variety could still exist unnoticed in circulation keeps excitement surrounding the 1991 quarter alive. Every old coin jar becomes a potential treasure chest in the eyes of dedicated collectors. Proof versions of the 1991 quarter add another fascinating layer to its history. Proof coins were specially struck for collectors using polished dies and specially prepared blanks, producing mirror-like surfaces and razor-sharp details. Occasionally, proof coins entered circulation accidentally or developed unusual errors during minting. These proof-error combinations became highly sought after because they combine beauty, rarity, and historical curiosity in one coin. Collectors often describe these pieces as accidental masterpieces created during the minting process, and when rare proof varieties appear at auction, they can generate intense competition between buyers.